Hey guys, DB Ra here, and today I'm going to be continuing with What If Bulma Became a Z-Warrior. Now, first and foremostly, since I'm going to be away over Christmas, I'm going to be basically just filming a bunch of what ifs right now while I'm sitting here, and basically it's going to be scheduled to come out on YouTube every day until I get back. That way, you guys still get your daily content that you get from this channel, and we of course can continue this what if to the end of the month or to the conclusion of this story, just as I promised. So, without further ado, let's get into this. And well, pretty much continuing right where we left off, which was basically the end of the Cell Saga, which ended in a very different and quite a unique way. But in the end, our version of Gohan in this story still managed to pull off the impossible and destroy the evil maniacal bio-android. And well, only this time they were able to wish back Goku successfully because, well, this was his first death in the series, and his death was overall different in this side of the story too. Anyways, continuing, we have now been introduced to Gohan in his high school years, and much like the original, and not that he really needed to really go through high school, but since he basically made the case that he needs to hang out with people, more or less his own age, he can't just be hanging out with all the martial artists all the time. And Bulma decided, this could actually be good for him, and so he still ended up at Orange Star High School, where he met Videl and everyone else, and the Great Saiyaman thing still happened. Only difference is, well, you got a slightly more confident Great Saiyaman. He does pose around a little bit, but his one-liners are a bit better, I guess you could say. And, well, as for Videl and Gohan's sort of relationship, it definitely starts off rocky because they both got famous parents. Bulma being a famous scientist in her own right, who basically brings Capsule Corporation to its next level. And of course, she herself was the daughter of Dr. Briefs, the man who started Capsule Corp. And so yeah, Gohan sort of has that going for him, and that definitely has basically girls chasing him all the time. After all, unlike the original Gohan, this one can afford to take him out on dates and things like that. Videl, of course, is not really interested in that sort of thing, but she is sort of curious to how come this kid shows up and suddenly there is a superhero, the Great Saiyaman, running around and basically saving the planet, saving the city. And it doesn't take her long to start suspecting that Gohan and the Great Saiyaman are pretty much one and the same. And since pretty much everyone knows where Gohan lives, being the son, being the Capsule Corp brat in this timeline, Videl is basically constantly watching him, and well, one day Gohan slipped, having his Great Saiyaman outfit on straight away after he left Capsule Corp, and basically Videl chased him down and basically unmasked him. And just like in the original, goes to blackmailing him into teaching her how to fly, and yeah, and convincing him to enter the upcoming World Martial Arts Tournament. And, Gohan, in this timeline, he's not quite as timid as the original. He is a bit more confident, so he does try to resist a little bit with this blackmail. Not that he's really keen to say no to her, he just wants to see how far she's willing to take this. But, in the end, he does agree to do it, and she begins spending time with Capsule Corp, which the good thing about this is this got her to be a bit more familiar with the rest of the Dragon Team. because Yamcha was a regular visitor, Vegeta still lived in the area, and you got Raditz who lived in the Uncle Raditz living in the Capsule Corp building too, so she was pretty much filled in on who the Saiyans were and what they were all about. And, you know, this made Videl remembering something she heard about the Saiyan invaders from way back and how they were stopped and everyone who was killed was, like, brought back for the Dragon Balls or something like that. Yeah, so she basically put two and two and actually recognized Vegeta from the old, television broadcasts. But made her a little nervous, but at least he's turned over a new leaf. Basically, pretty much. And well, as for Gohan, you might be wondering if he's softer or weaker in this timeline like the original. Well, not really, because he is more or less more willing to train with his father, and he does like studying and helping out his mother. Like I said, it's always been more of a more balanced lifestyle for him. He can pick and choose and train at his own leisure. So, no, he hasn't really lost his step in this timeline, at least not in terms of raw power anyway. Whether or not he's lost a sense for fighting, because not dealing with serious foes so much for the last 7 years, that remains to be seen, however. So, meanwhile, with Goten learning how to fly as well, because he just was keen and wanted to get involved, after assisting Bulma with a few of her tinkering, she would join Videl and Gohan for training as well, and well, ultimately Goten learned how to fly as well, and so he'd be able to participate in the junior division against Vegeta and Chi-Chi's kid. Did I say that Vegeta lives at Capsule Corp? No, sorry, he lives with Chi-Chi, but he's still a regular visitor. After all, Bulma's got the Grav Room. So, just quickly correct that. So yeah, their child, Vegeta the Fifth, and Goten and Vegeta the Fifth's relationship is pretty much the same as, like, Goten and Trunks, except Goten's basically the rich, spoiled brat in this timeline, and the really sort of overconfident one. Yep, I'm afraid having a nicer father doesn't really change that. You know, the whole being born with a silver spoon. Anyways, so the time then comes around for the World Martial Arts Tournament, and pretty much the whole Dragon team passes the qualifying test like they do in the original, and you get Goten versus Vegeta the Fifth in their tournament, and pretty much that it ends with actually Goten winning it this time around. And so once we got to the adult division side of the tournament, Krillin took on the same dude that he does originally, and of course Piccolo forfeiting to Supreme Kai after figuring out who he is. And this led to Videl's match with Spopovich. Now, thanks to her being associated with other members of the Dragon team, Gohan was a bit more willing to teach her more things. You know, how to fly faster, and actually got around to actually teaching her how to use energy attacks. So, while Videl ultimately still loses the match, she doesn't end up anywhere near as badly conditioned as she was in the original fight. She ultimately gets knocked out of the ring by Spopovich, and basically Spopovich was basically, after she's knocked out of the ring, charges to attack her some more, when basically Gohan basically got between them, and Yamu basically was able to stop Spopovich for doing anything too serious. But it's clear to everyone this guy is definitely not normal, and Gohan will settle things with him later. And well, the time then would come for Gohan's match with Capito, and just like in the original, Spopovich and Yamu jump him and take his energy, much like they do in the original timeline. And yeah, they basically... I just realized I said Piccolo again, giving up to Supreme Kai. It's Kami. Kami merged with Piccolo. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. I apologize, guys. So yes, so with Kibito being there, Gohan's healed like he is in the original, while everyone else has already gone with Supreme Kai in order to pursue where Spopovich and Yamu are going. The biggest difference here is that you got Raditz tagging along as well. And, well, yeah. Now, after filling in Gohan and Videl with what's going on, and Videl already sort of figured that they were the ones who stopped Cell all those years ago, and that there actually was a time where Hercule was going to take credit for the whole thing, but ultimately he couldn't, and Videl's, well, kind of glad he didn't. Well, the point is basically Videl is forced to stay behind like she pretty much does in the original, and you've got pretty much Gohan meeting up with the others who are basically looking on in Barbady's ship. Oh yes, it looks like the Supreme Kai has brought all these powerful beings with them. I never imagined we'd be able to accomplish our goal so quickly. And of course, just like in the original, he disposes of Spopovich and Yamu, and Deborah basically uses his spit and does manage to freeze Kami and Krillin, much like in the original. And well, this time, rather than... oh yeah, and Kibito getting blown away too, of course. However, unlike the original, where this was supposed to be Deborah's way of luring them into a trap, Gohan powers up right away and straight away attacks Deborah. And there's pretty much an all-out fight between the two right then and there. And since they're not in the ship, Barbary can't steal their energy. That's the number one ruling factor of Barbary stealing energy. You have to be in his ship in order for him to do that. So Barbady's plan basically just backfired on his face because, well, Gohan's just not taking any chances. He wants this done now. He wants to go back to the tournament and just have a friendly tournament with all his friends. And, you know, Goku, Vegeta sort of feel the same way. They would have rather fought each other than, you know, dealing with this. And, well, it, basically became clear that even though Gohan's power is still pretty much the same, he has indeed lost his sense for battle. It's been 7 years since he's fought a serious enemy like this, and Deborah is in fact stronger than what Cell was, and is also, you know, a killer. And, you know, Gohan, over these 7 years of peace, he has lost that fighting instinct, the killer instinct necessarily to take down this guy quickly. You know, for 7 years it's just been friendly sparring matches with his father, and maybe Uncle Raditz. So, yeah. And as we know, true Saiyans do not lose that killer instinct, ever. And so basically, with that, rather than Vegeta getting angry with him, it is actually Raditz who can't believe what he's seeing here. Huh. The boy's lost his stomach. Huh. I'm almost embarrassed to be related to him. Raditz, calm down, it's not his fault. We've all lost the step since the Cell games. Ha, speak for yourself, Kakarot. I know me and the Prince have been keeping each other busy. Yeah, well, Raditz and Launch basically didn't live too far away from Chi-Chi and Vegeta, so they were able to train regularly, and they know each other so well that, yeah, they were able to keep themselves in primal form. You know, you let your house get domestic, brother, and because of that, you may have doomed us all. However, Dabura senses this negativity in Raditz, and senses that after all this time, Raditz is still holding a little bit of negativity, a little bit of evil, so to speak. He was always a bit jealous of his brother that he was able to beat him all those years ago. Someone who was weaker than he is besting him, and then overly growing stronger than him, and was able to hit Super Saiyan first. So, basically, Dabura hits a quick spit on Gohan, and Gohan is also transformed to stone and begins falling. Goku just managing to catch him, so he didn't shatter on the ground or anything like that, and Dabura flies into his ship. Flies into Barbi's ship, and this is when the others pursue him inside. However, there's basically no sign of him. Now, while the other fighters in the first two stages are keeping them busy, Dabura is telling Barbie of something that he's discovered. A formidable warrior that could allow them to achieve their goal. And that's where we're going to be leaving things, basically, for right now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this What If. Feel free to leave a comment, leave your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again next time.